up your engine! People are always looking for used giant SUVs that hold 8 people. Here's a 2005 Sequoia. I'm going to give you a full analysis of it. Just like the giant Sequoia trees, it is a giant vehicle. As you can see, it's got a big roof rack. It's still in immaculate shape, even though it's a 2005. These were well built. You can tow quite a bit with them. This baby can tow 6,500 pounds. It's got a big old Toyota V8 engine in it. And yes, it's got lots of room. That's what these things are known for. Space. With the third row seats up, flip them down, there's tons more room. He's already got the second row folded down to carry stuff with. They're solid built. And where were they made? Well, they were made by Hoosiers. This baby was made in Indiana. And there's a pretty long history of that. For ages, Toyota made forklift trucks in Indiana. Then they started making the V8 pickup trucks that they'd never made before. Tundras. Originally, they were going to call them like T-150s. Ford didn't like it, so they decided they weren't going to get sued. They just decided to call them Tundras. So they've been making them there for quite some time. And of course, the big thing of these is the ultra reliable V8 engine. And there it is, Toyota's infamous 4.7 liter V8 engine. As you can tell, this is a used car from a Lexus dealer. They've waxed everything with a spray wax. And why do they do that? Because they know people are like crows. They like shiny objects. Waxing it serves no purpose at all. And if you accidentally get wax on the electronic parts, you can cause problems. But this one runs fine. It's just for show. It's a very reliable engine. This one's got like 281 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque. It's a powerful engine. It's not a racing engine in this, of course, because it's a very heavy vehicle. This baby weighs a little bit over 5,000 pounds. So it's 2.5 tons. It is a heavy vehicle. It is not a race vehicle. But this V8 engine is plenty enough to pull it around. You're not drag racing people in these things. It's an 8-passenger people mover. And it has an ultra-reliable 5-speed Toyota automatic transmission. This one is rear-wheel drive only. Smart move. You don't really need all-wheel drive in a family mover. You'll get even worse gas mileage. This thing's a gas hog as it is. This particular one gets like 14 miles a gallon if you're lucky in town, about 17 on a highway. You don't buy a giant vehicle like this for gas mileage. Most of my customers that own them, I say, what kind of gas mileage you get? And they say, I don't know, I'm afraid to find out. I just know I'd fill it up all the time, but it runs forever. And at least in this world's present economic climate, gas is cheap. You don't have to think about it all that much. As we go inside, you want a big old vehicle with a lot of room. Heck, the leather seats are still decent. A little wrinkled, but you can re-dye them if you want. Start her up. Typical Toyota, starts right up. And we see it's got 172,000 miles on it. But aside from the old bag of Whataburger French fries, hey, it's in good shape. It's got, of course, the fancy sunroof. And like I say, look at that room. This thing can carry a lot of people. Even has wood grain in the back. This is a luxury SUV. It's even got height control that you can mess with if you want. And even though it's a 2004, it still works. Look, you can raise it. You can put it neutral. You can lower it. You can do whatever you want. I got the back now. It's got space up the wazoo. The paint's still fantastic. The rims are still great looking. Not like any older car these days. Both front headlight assemblies, the cheap plastic crap is clouded up. So you can either polish them or do like I did on my wife's Lexus. Just buy new aftermarket ones made in Taiwan. They look beautiful. After all, they're all Toyota products. They tend to last virtually forever, so there's an aftermarket that lasts virtually forever. You can get decent prices on quality parts. You don't have to just always go to the dealer to buy stuff. Now, the only real flaw I found on this is, you notice the door didn't shut right here. If you hit it, it's not shut right. You got to slam it. Well, here's what's wrong, and it's typical. The latch on all these Toyotas, as they age, this is supposed to have a big plastic piece that comes down. You can see the edge is broken off here, and it's not hanging down. When we open the back door, it's got the normal one. See? You can see it now. It's got the whole plastic piece, and that's what makes them shut. It just needs to be replaced, the stupid plastic cover. That's what happens to them all the time. Because now, with this one, close is fine. All this one needs is that plastic piece snapped in. Then it won't go like this and stick. It'll close good. It'll still close when you slam them, but kind of sloppy. And speaking of faded, you can see this is more than faded. This one's cracked and there's water inside. So it's time to get an aftermarket pair. It will actually look a lot better with an aftermarket pair. Now this one isn't leaking inside, but it's all clouded. You might as well get a pair and make it look good. Or not, it's your choice. Now, originally this thing was like $41,625. And this one's going for around $8,000. So, it's a fraction of the original price. But from my experience, I've seen many of these things easily go 350,000 miles, which is twice what it has on it now. And sure, you're going to burn a lot of gasoline going that far in these big gas hogs. Like I say, these are all big gas hogs. If you're going to get a big gas hog, at least get one like this that can run forever. And speaking of running, let's take it for a ride. And of course, being a Toyota, I'm sure it'll start right up. And the AC, blowing ice cold, of course. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is it is a smooth vehicle. We'll come to a stop. Smooth as can be. Now, you'll see that the tire pressure monitoring system says the tire's low. Well, I checked them. They're not really low. The tire pressure monitoring system's broken. Each tire has a valve stem with the sending unit that broadcasts the pressure. They have batteries. The batteries have worn out. You can spend a bunch of money putting all new sensors in, but what the heck? A tire gauge doesn't cost much. Just check them yourself. No, it is old. It's a 2005. It's got 175,000 miles. I can tell by the bounciness is the struts and shocks are just worn out. You could drive it as long as you want, but it bounces a little bit too much. You got to expect that when you buy a car this old. If you want it to ride perfectly on bumps, you'd have to replace the struts and shocks. But it's perfectly safe to drive the way it is. It's not a racehorse. It has a V8 engine, but here we go. We got it in drive. We'll take off. It does spin the tires. And that V8, you can hear it humming. And the transmission still shifts as good as new. Even though it's got 175,000 miles on it. So it's no snail. And when you're driving around in something like this, you feel safe. Let me tell you, nothing beats size when it comes to feeling safe driving around. Corners like a big truck, because it is a big truck. Of course, it's a Toyota. The brakes work perfectly fine. It is a heavy vehicle. It better work good. And they do. Now, I ran my scan tool on it. I won't bore you with the information, but there's no trouble codes other than the tire pressure monitoring sensors aren't working on some of the tires, so that you kind of blow off. It's in excellent shape for something with 172,000 miles. It's a Toyota, so all the power windows work. It's even got a coin holder. Coins, what are that? What do you do with coins? They're not digital. Notice there's no coins in it anymore. And as old as it is, it's still luxurious. Backseat boys, you can play with your own air conditioning and heat. Are you going to roast in the back seat? No. Air conditioning vents. Air conditioning vents. Just like a hotel room. Pretty much is a hotel on wheels. So now you know. You didn't need to buy this thing for 40-something thousand when it was new. And you don't have to pay around 60,000 up for a 2020 Sequoia. Heck, you can get this thing for under $8,000, which is what my customer's going to do. This is exactly what he was looking for. He just wanted me to check it out to make sure it was a good deal. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.